Because 2 just wasn't enough, I'm happy to welcome you all to the first part of my recap on Akaland Slugging Association Season 3. This may seem obvious, but if you haven't seen the previous 2 seasons or need a refresher, I highly recommend you take a look at the playlists on my channel. There you'll find everything you need. But before we get into it, one quick reminder. As I've mentioned a handful of times before, Season 3 has already taken place. I greatly appreciate all the advice and suggestions you all are leaving down below, but be aware that I can't go back and change anything for this season since it ended almost 2 years ago at this point. So far, these have just been recap videos to catch you all up to what's happening so we can experience the upcoming Season 4 together. Feel free to continue leaving ideas down below, but don't expect to see anything implemented until then. Anyway, let's kick off the party with one thing I did change for this season, the first ever ASA patch. Thanks to my now 2 seasons of experience in the Sluggers modding world, I was able to track down the necessary resources to edit character stats. With this, Deuce and I were able to fine-tune a whole host of things. The 3 biggest changes were giving Diddy Kong brown chemistry, thus curing the only character in the game to not have any Mii chemistry, giving different Mii colors stat bonuses in much the same way as Pokemon natures, and adjusting the batting trajectories of Peach, Yoshi, and a couple others to make them more viable. Another chem change gave Boo and the Bros chemistry with all 4 bones, while Wario and Waluigi gained chemistry with their closest teammates in Yellow Mage and Paragoomba respectively. We made a point not to nerf any characters since we didn't want to unfairly hinder anyone's retained characters. The one exception here was to slightly reduce Bowser's pitching stamina because of his forced precharges and automatic strikeout star pitch. These patch notes were all made available for the GMs before draft night, so everyone was able to see what would be changing before they selected their teams. Speaking of draft night, let's get our boots back on the ground and run through the offseason. Retention rates were far less eventful this time around. Grey Drybones left the Bows in search of a playoff contender. Bowser Jr. took his leave from the Monsters and their new GM to test his value in the draft, and Blue Critter took Green Para and fled Cyber's sinking ship. On your screen are the rosters after all this went down. Next up was the draft lottery. Unlike retention rates, this one was more hectic than the last. First, the Spitballs dropped from the 3rd best odds to take the 4th overall pick. Tragically, the Eggs plummeted to 3rd despite a 50% chance at the top selection, while the Monsters skyrocketed from a mere 5% chance at the first pick all the way up to 2nd. After failing to secure the top pick in Season 1, the Bows redeemed themselves, celebrating what could be the beginning of a turnaround for the only franchise to never make the postseason. In the aftermath of their poor fortune, Cyber opted for a full reset, selling off Dark Bones for the Spitballs' 4th overall pick. For Spectro, this trade landed them a crucial piece of red chemistry to go with Red Critter and Firebro. In return, Cyber would have a shot at 2 of the top 4 in the draft to rebuild with. For a last pre-draft turn of fate, Jake Cuevas announced that Season 3 would be his final season as a GM. Having appeared in 2 different finals with 2 different captains, he considered his executive career a success, and looked to move on to greener pastures. One last ride for Jake and the gang, so it's championship or bust. With both excitement and apprehension mixing in the air like a dubious potion in an ASA-colored cauldron, the first round of the draft kicked off. There was little doubt as to who Y-Guy would select first overall. Some rumors suggested he might aim for a Pianta, Boo, Bowser Jr., or even repeat his past couple seasons by taking Peach in the first round. Some even suggested he might take Diddy Kong off the board just to break up the reigning champs. Ultimately though, those were all just bits of speculation about what he could do if he didn't take Blue Critter. When all was said and done, with the first overall pick in the Season 3 draft, Blitter was made a Bow. Flame's final act before fully handing off the reins to AJ was to assemble his team one final time. That meant Bowser Jr. was set to return to the squad for a 2nd season. With the 3rd and 4th picks, Cyber did something extremely interesting. His experiment with a Yoshi-led team didn't quite work out, so he opted to use his first selection on a captain. One in particular caught his eye, and it was one he was very familiar with. For all these Season 1 Knights fans, rejoice, your boy's back. Immediately after that pick, Cyber snapped up Yellow Pianta, creating a scrambled but promising core. The rest of the first round was fairly unremarkable compared to the first 4 picks. Mr. Murphy expectedly took the remaining Pianta, while I selected Green Drybones, Jake reclaimed Koopa the Quick, and Deuce retained Diddy Kong. With those 8 picks done, let's skip to the end and get into the rest of the off-season changes. Like many of you, I was hungry for more advanced and precise stats, so Deuce and I took this time to put our heads together and came up with a way to document them. I have a massive Excel spreadsheet where I keep season stats, while Deuce and I split the work of scoring the games on a Google Sheet where we stored every individual game and at-bat. This allows for a lot of cool stat insights which I plan on sharing throughout this season's recap series. Now for one last major change, the schedule. As great as the 10-game season was, we felt like it just wasn't enough. So we added in a bonus rivalry week before All-Star break. Like the first 3 weeks, Rivalry Week consists of 1 in-conference game and 1 cross-conference game, though these matchups were tailored to be the most narratively intriguing of the bunch. Look forward to that. To get there though, we need to get through the first 7 games of the season, not to mention the string of trades leading up to opening night. Before they ever saw the field for the Knights, Cyber flipped Yellow Pianta and Eisenhower to the Spitballs in return for Goomba, Red Koopa, Gangsta Mario, and Baby Peach. A haul for sure, but there were many questions as to why the Knights flipped their main power hitter to begin with. Next, a minor 3-team trade shifted around some bench pieces, landing Jake his own knee while Y-Guy acquired Spectros. The real Spectro, meanwhile, picked up Yellow Yoshi. That didn't last long though, as Cyber swooped up the very same Yellow Yoshi at the cost of Eisenhower and Blue Toad, an odd choice. This all culminated in the big blockbuster trade of the offseason between 3 of the same players that had already been active in trade talks. Despite drafting him back to the team, Y-Guy decided that Greybones didn't fit the vision, shipping him off to the Knights. The price for Cyber was the only character he still had from the Season 2 eggs, sending Red Match to Spectro. Spectro in turn shipped an incredible package of both Yellow Pianta and Blue Toad to the Bows, adding the offensive firepower Y-Guy desperately needed in Season 2. Now let's do a bit of a roll call and see where everyone stands. The newly revived Knights got off to a very strong start with their first pick, but the rest of the draft was lackluster to say the least. Blue Toad was a great selection, but flipping him to keep Blue Noki with the first pick of the 3rd round was questionable at best. The move to get Greybones seemed solid though, and dragging Green Para back to the team he tried to ditch filled out the squad with some much needed defense if this team wanted to make any noise or win any games. The Bows, on the other hand, just looked plain dangerous. They snatched up Flowers legend Boo and brought in the aforementioned pair of former Fireballs to pair with their big 3 up front, building around 3 central colors in pink, blue, and white. Spectro Spitballs were also an early favorite, just from looking at the names on the roster. Adding Darkbones and Red Toad with some other helpful pieces in the background made this team look like it was capable of serious damage. Now fully in control of the team, AJ's first move was to rebrand to the Rookies, placing Bowser Jr. at the helm. Other than that though, his team was exactly the same as Flame's previous semi-final roster, which is hardly a bad thing. Murphy's Toad team was unfortunately gutted as its namesake bunch were scattered around the league. They retained Toadsworth and Toadette, but only managed to bring back Purple Toad through the draft. Still, maintaining BP and snatching RP back from the Spitballs meant this team was not to be taken lightly. Not to mention they even brought Season 2 Me of the Year Captain Falcon aboard, though he'd surprisingly be moved to a bench position this time around. My Flowers were more or less the same team, albeit minus Boo and Luigi. We brought back Blooper, who'd have to take Boo's role as pitcher while the Deuce Me returned for his second stint with the Flowers in Luigi's stead. Groki, meanwhile, was replaced with Green Toad, a massive upgrade. Much like the Season 2 monsters, the Season 2 muscles stuck together through it all, too. Well, almost. The only real change was the fact that they lost Deuce, but they made up for that by adding protagonist Toad. Jake was confident that this team had what it took to win him his ring before he bowed out. The Wilds, on the other hand, did maintain the exact same 9 that just brought home the championship in dominant fashion. As if that wasn't enough, they also brought on the only GM that threatened them in the postseason, in Flame, as their head coach. After witnessing this, Y-Guy became the face of anti-Wild sentiment, claiming the team was too niche for anybody to waste a draft pick breaking them up. Whether he was correct or whether Deuce simply willed the team back into existence, they were certain to be a top-level threat once again. Now, one last thing. If you've been willing to put up with my narration for this long, you should consider joining my growing squad of channel members. They get access to updates, private community posts, private Discord channels, and early videos like the Melor video I did recently. It's only $5 a month, and I truly appreciate all of the support I've received through membership so far. Thank you for helping me to make this series possible. You still with me? Great. The off-season is now officially behind us, which can only mean one thing. Let's get into some opening night action. Hello and welcome to Season 3 of the Akaland Slugging Association. We're kicking it off with a brand new GM making his debut. It's AJ and the Rookies. Flame did retire, so we do have AJ taking over, taking on Mr. Murphy. Spectro joins me on the mic today, and we got some...
Hello.
We've got slightly better video quality here, if you can't tell.
I gotta say, it's nice being back in the booth, especially with these improved visuals, you know?
Oh yeah. The Fireballs wasted no time getting things started. Between Toadette, Toadsworth, and the newly reinstated Red Pianta, bases were loaded for Mr. Murphy. Imagine if the Murphy Me leads off the season with a Grand Slam. He's charging for it.
Dude,
but that will bring home two. That's gonna bring home Toadsworth as well.
And first point of the season by Toadette. Okay.
Mr. Murphy will drive home 2 runners. And with that, the first runs of the season were on the board. Red Yoshi loaded the bases up once again, still with no outs, but Ordeal managed to get under a Mario pop fly to right to slow things down. Still, BP stepped up with the chance for a grand slam to really get the season going.
BP's gonna charge. This is the star player for this team, the perennial MVP candidate. Crushes one into left field, should be caught though.
Will it?
It's gonna be a sac
yeah,
fly.
it's gone
Red Pianta will go home.
That catch effectively ended the first Fireballs outing of Season 3, as Madge made a great play on third. Monty didn't quite have the same leadoff as Toadette, and it's safe to say Ordeal was a bit thrown off by being moved away from Bowser in the batting lineup for the first time. The new 3-spot, Junior, downed the first base hit for the season in his first at-bat as captain, but Bowser whiffed into an ugly line drive to end the inning scoreless. The entire Fireballs lineup batted in the first, so Toadette led off the second with yet another single. This time though, Toadsworth came up short and hit into Boomerang Bro for the first double play of Season 3. RP's base hit did force out Bowser earlier than the rookies had hoped, but even the stamina nerf didn't stop him from notching a guaranteed star pitch strikeout. Madeline from Celeste made her big debut in the bottom of the second, popping a double with the help of a boo. That set up BDB, and he delivered to put AJ on the board. Between Grey Guy and Toadette, neither team's low trajectory hitters could pull through for more runs, bringing us to the bottom of the third with the Fireballs still up 2. This inning kicked off with Monty on first, and a tragic Red Yoshi bobble helped Ordeal to get one down. Sensing an opportunity, the new team captain stepped up for a star hit.
He's gonna star! That could bring home Monty! And it will, Monty's gonna go. They launched the fire.
Makes it.
Ordeal's
Ordeal
going!
too?
She made it!
That? Wait, does she?
It's
Yeah.
a 2
Wait,
RBI
what?
double from Bowser
yeah.
Jr.
Bowser recovered from his first blunder, bringing Junior home. Another bobble put Madge on base, though an unfortunate POW still forced Bowser out.
This one's crushed by Boomerang Bro. The curve, are they gonna get there?
Ooh.
It's over, Toadsworth!
Oh.
2 runs will score off the Boomerang Bro home run.
With that, it's safe to say that Boomerang Bro cemented himself as the third member of the rookies' Big Three. To further that agenda, he and Madeline dominated the Fireballs offense, not allowing a runner to reach third as AJ's team kept pedal to metal. Grey Guy managed a Boo-assisted double, and Monty's star led into a score as Ordeal brought one home. In an effort to ignite the dimming Fireballs, Mario went for his third straight opening night strikeout, stopping Bowser Jr. from continuing the perfect inning. A step in the right direction, but not enough to outpace Bowser.
That's a very rare sight. Mario, fun fact, this is a random stat that I just happened to think of. Is this over their head? It might be. Yeah, it is.
Bowser. Yeah. Good job, Bowser.
Jeez.
They almost gave up another to Boomerang Bro right after, but Toadsworth managed to make the grab as BP stopped the bleeding. It took them until the 6th to actually do anything noteworthy though, as they put 2 on base for Toadsworth. Somehow, he snuck one over Madeline for another Boo double as Peach reached home. RP landed another single, and if you know anything about the Fireballs, you know this can get real scary real quick.
It's Toadsworth trapped, but he's still gonna be back safe. Madeline didn't throw to Boomerang Bro. And now the bases are loaded for Mr. Murphy, just like we saw at the beginning of the game. Even a grand slam, you're still down by 2 though. And that's gonna be a double play. We'll score 1, but... that won't get down. Good play by Monty to get there.
With that save, the rookies just about sealed the deal. Just to make good and sure, Blue Madge drilled a lazy pitch out to left to take a 12-5 lead, and the scoreboard froze there through the 7th. As Boomerang Bro turned the game-ending double play, the rookies secured their first win under AJ and his newly minted captain. The Fireballs, meanwhile, clearly had some work to do if they wanted to look like the Titans they were in the first 2 seasons. Next, let's head to Nighttime Cruiser as Spectro and the Spitballs host the newly revived Cyber Knights. Blue Yoshi led off well for the Knights, pitching a good ball to Paragoomba, which led to bad contact and an out. Red Toad and Millennia followed with 2 base hits though. Unfortunately, I can't quite seem to remember who was next up.
You're not gonna believe who's batting now! It's the reigning MVP, Red Critter, facing off against the hideous creature!
A hideous creature who is pitching for some reason.
Oh, okay, well, you loaded the bases. Good job, Red Critter.
You know, let's continue.
Don't worry, that wasn't just a random insult. That's the community nickname for Blue Yoshi. Only Cyber would let that scoundrel pitch. Leo opened the scoring with a line drive to the back wall, and Red Madge had a chance to do something spectacular.
I don't know if third best can do that.
Oh! The shell!
Not the kind of spectacular I had in mind, but it'll do.
What a beautiful
You know-
shell from Fire Bro!
That's why we've been saying he's third best.
No way, dude. Fire Bro with the grand slam.
Starting off the season with a grand slam. It's already over. Why did we even start a game?
That's more like it. I almost wrote that I wish this was a close one, but I actually think that reality was way more entertaining this time around. Though they changed team names, Cyber Squad was still brutally flattened like they still had the daycare out there. They scored via a slap from rookie Larry Bird and a 2 RBI double from... Anyway, there was also a...
1 seed, because I think they're...
No! You gave it to Luigi! No way!
That's his first career home run off the bobble from Red Toad, and maybe that's why he picked Cruiser.
They lost 12-4 as Firebro went for 6 RBI and claimed the game MVP. The BFC is fun and all, but with that out of the way, let's get into the real dogfights over in the MRC. First off, Nighttime DK Jungle, featuring the new look Bows and these same look Wilds. I suppose same look is a little bit unfair. After the Wilds' first two got obliterated, Brown Critter reached base to bring up the Wilds' one and only new face, Fair. She's the new brown me on the block, having taken the starting spot from Big Fella during team training camp. That's great and all, but it didn't seem to make any difference to Blitter. It's not like the other side had any better luck though. Despite Flenzy's base hit, the Bows didn't manage any kind of offense in their first foray against the reigning champs. As a matter of fact, let me just cut straight to the point. Neither team could get anything done at all in the first half of this one. Despite his pitifully low stamina, King Boo managed to stay in from first pitch until the 4th inning, finally tapping out to let Birdo handle things. The starter lasted even longer on the other side as star Diddy Kong closed out yet another scoreless inning to enter the home stretch. With the Wilds quickly reaching base, perhaps it was finally time for Funky to create some separation.
This is dangerous here. That's why. Dixie's gotta run. This might be gone though. That's gone. No!
Sadly, that didn't quite go according to plan, so the Wilds had to settle for the backup plan of loaded bases into the finals MVP.
Just have to pray he messes up here.
Stars. That's gonna drive in 2 runs, but I mean, it's definitely not as bad as it could have been for the Bows.
A great hit combined with a critical buddy move error scored 2 more as the rookie Fair made her presence known, and the Wilds had suddenly blown this one wide open. With a bit more defense and a funky dinger in the 6th, it was pretty much wraps. Thanks to a bit more effort from Britter, the Wilds managed to seize and close out a 7-0 victory, not missing a beat since their big finals victory. The Bows, meanwhile, had yet to show the upside many had speculated about during the offseason. Now, what about the other Season 2 finalists? The classic marquee matchup between the Muscles and Flowers returned to the familiar scenery of Bowser Castle, where the Muscles sought another dominant performance similar to their blowout semifinal wins. As for my team, though they say time heals all wounds, the break between Season 2 and 3 only made the feeling worse, as we experienced what it was like to not have a fresh championship ring for the first time. Anger isn't always the solution though, and the Muscles raced out to a 3-0 lead in the first thanks to Wario, K-Rool, and Kareem. Losing Boo in the draft forced the Flowers into starting Petey at pitcher, which didn't last long as the captain came in to salvage things earlier than anticipated. The new kid in town, Green Toad, started off with a promising single. He impressed further by stealing second base, and Wiggler bunted to advance him to third. An odd decision, but it came with a chance to cut into the lead. A heroic save from perennial DPOI candidate Koopa came just in time though. The second looked better for the Flowers' defense. Between a well-used star pitch and a masterful whammer double play, we were back on the attack. I guess. We love us some Blooper in this franchise, but there was a reason he was benched for all of Season 2, and he showed it off here. Link reached, and GDB had a chance to set up Whammer. Despite all of the excitement, Willow managed to stifle it all yet again. Now, the Death lineup was up to bat, and they intended to live up to their nickname. Critter launched one right up the middle for a 5-0 lead, and K-Rool followed with a near-identical strike to make it 6. Even as Blooper subbed in to pitch for the first time in ages, the crowd began to wonder if they were watching Season 3 or a rerun of the Season 2 semis. The only meaningful change was which side Deuce was batting for. With some finesse and a healthy dose of luck, he laid down a triple to bring in the first Flowers run of the game, and Green Toad's poor contact was still enough to score him. Daisy faltered this time, but Wiggler came through, and you know what that means.
That he was standing right there when he was throwing his practice pitches.
Yep.
I mean, granted, Petey doesn't have any eyes, so it really is on Inoki.
And he just spit a ball
Petey,
like directly into Nyoki's face. And you know,
we've got a ball game. Bloop and the All-Star infield rallied to hold the Muscles in the 4th, but GDB and Whammer continued to struggle as the latter hit into Guess Who for a double play. Time for more Death lineup action, I'm afraid. Or so you'd think, but the hero of Dime rocketed an expertly bumped ball back to first to catch Wario off guard and escape. With 2-0 innings already, what's a third? Now having 2 more chances to extend the lead for the Muscles or to erase it for the Flowers, the 6th kicked off with high stakes. Someone should have told Jake's offense about said stakes because they came out with 0 fire behind their swings and were sent packing after only 1 base hit. Petey hit well, at least Willow didn't get her hands on it. For all his usual offensive struggles, Bloop got the job done this time too. With Link falling victim to Wario's star pitch, the Flowers' last solid chance at a comeback could be GDB and Whammer.
It's like when Tommy John first discovered his injury. Oh, a star hit from Whammer. Interesting. Oh no! Oh no!
It's Clutch City!
Oh,
It's Clutch City! It's Clutch City!
Just like that, my squad claimed our first lead of the game as Koopa came into pitch and ruined the Muscles' outfield. Deuce proved his return to the Flowers was a worthwhile one, yet again scoring Whammer to extend our lead to 2 runs. Toad popped a fly ball out to center, but Daisy and Wiggler both came through to bring up Petey. Considering the circumstances, I'm proud to say this one's a foregone conclusion.
And you know who you do not want to see with 2 people on base? Petey Piranha. For this exact reason. Wario can't get it.
Right.
There's no chem. Yeah, that's an easy 3-run homer.
Just like that, the shoe was firmly on the other foot. One last chance for the Muscles to even the score, while the Flowers looked to hold them off. The Season 2 clutch player winner led off for the Muscles, but he didn't quite have the power to get one out over the deep castle walls. Willow likewise couldn't launch one over Petey's leaping grab, and the death lineup came to bat with 2 outs already on the board. Despite the odds, Wario and Critter snuck hits under GDB and center to put runners on the corners. K-Rool's hit just barely escaped Petey.
Unfortunately, this is the weaker part of the Muscles lineup, but it doesn't matter at the moment.
He
Kareem
is
just also got another
Kareem
RBI.
Abdul-Jabbar! Koopa that quick.
I'm now realizing if the Muscles are unable to take over the Flowers, this would be the 3rd game this in opening night to have the winning team have 12 runs exactly.
No way. No way. This is where it's called. No way. I don't believe in you.
Oh, the Goomba Grand Slam!
No!
Oh! No! Their hopes
This
are
is
still
bottom one luck.
alive!
This is bottom
Their
one luck.
hopes are still alive!
This is bottom 1 luck. No, you can't do that.
The Flowers do have bottom 1 luck. It is scientifically proven. And oh no, they've thrown the hero of Lime out. Bloopers in the outfield.
Oh my.
There it is.
Okay. That was about to be bottom 1.
And with that, a deep sigh of relief. As opening night came to a close, the Spectro Spitballs sat atop the standings by a mere 1 run. The Wilds and Rookies both came in right behind, while the Flowers rounded out the winners of the first 4. The Muscles, Fireballs, Bows, and Knights all still had ground to make up in Week 1, but we've got a few trades to talk about before we get there. First, Cyber traded his own me and the Hideous Creature to the Rookies, who sent Green Shy Guy to the Flowers. In return, the Flowers shipped Green Noki to the Knights. This one isn't all that important. Next, the usual suspects reached yet another deal. This time, Spectro sent Red Para, who'd been buffed to have the strongest outfield throwing arm in the game, to Cyber, who sent a package of Yuna Origami, Yellow Yoshi, and Baby Peach back in return. That wasn't Spectro's end goal though. Because Yu is a pink me, for reasons, I think, it was clear that Y-Guy was interested in landing him. In this last trade, he did just that, at the sad cost of 2 faithful longtime bows in Pink Yoshi and Inkling. Not a sacrifice he wanted to make, but one he felt he needed to. Only time would tell if it paid off. To kick off Week 1, everyone prepared for a good old-fashioned smackdown. The Wilds came face-to-face with the Knights, who didn't give us any reason to believe after their first outing. To our surprise, the trades actually seemed to make some difference. Acquiring a star center fielder in Red Para paid off immediately as he snagged the first of a quick 3 outs to escape the first inning with no runs allowed. Reel and Britter didn't give up anything themselves as the Wilds made sure not to take the game for granted. As a reward, their next up was DK.
This one's right down the middle, and he does just that. That's a home run from DK. His first of the season, right on the bill of Wario's hat there. Is it the bill or the brim? Right on the brim of the hat, rather.
With a tiny single and a teal bunt single, the Wilds finally began to look like themselves. That is, until Hugh grounded one to Luigi for a double play, halting the champion's momentum. The closest thing the Knights had to a star player, Greybones, kicked off the response effort with a solid base hit, and Green Para looked to follow up.
He's charging again. This one's crushed out to left. Is it gone? Should be caught, and it will be caught. Had the power on it, but didn't quite get out far enough to the side.
Real turned a revenge double play as the Wilds shut things down, clinging to their 1-run lead. And cling they did, sitting flat on that 1 run into the late game, as Green Para proved his worth on the mound. If Cyber had built any semblance of an offense, this could have looked very different. In the bottom of the 6th, they almost loaded the bases, but a literal rookie mistake by Larry Bird on the item cannon cost Cyber's team greatly. The Wilds began their final campaign with a slap right to Green Para, who was truly looking like the centerpiece for this Knights defense. Still, with Coach Flame's guidance, the Wilds recovered quite well, landing another double off of Hugh Mann's bat, though this time of the positive variety. Funky made it runners on the corners just to steal second base right after, and the Knights were losing their grip on this one.
Now another steal attempt. They're going to get the bunt up, and it's going to pop right to Luigi, as they're also going to get Funky here on the double play that will end the inning. A poor decision there from the Wilds. Alright, they have to hold. They only have a 1-run cushion. The Knights could potentially walk this off here on Wario City Night. They're going to go into switch into DK to start off the inning. They want a fresh pitcher in there. That one's going to drop. No arrow shot for Larry, but he does reach base. Luigi's going to slap that. That's a double play right to Real, so there's only one more out for the Knights to work with. Will slap, and it will drop. So the Knights stay alive through another at-bat. And that's going to end the game as Brown Critter zips it right to Real. Only a slim victory for the Wilds. Only that 1 run off the solo home run from DK going to do the trick, but do the trick it will. And he also closes out the game pitching, but the MVP will be given to Brown Critter for his defensive efforts, I'm sure.
A narrow win is a win, which is all either team really took from this one. The Knights showed flashes, but they just weren't quite up to standard. Next, a battle of the 2 0-1 members of the Big 4 ASA teams as the Fireballs took on the Muscles. The Muscles fell to a quick 3 outs as Toadette showed off her speed and fireproof armor.
Toadette, the Fireball phased through her, but good for her, I guess.
She, in turn, was stopped by a similar defensive maestro as Willow zipped a quick throw to first through banana contact. Toadsworth, however, was far luckier, rolling a boo which RP used to guide him to safety. The unconventional Fireballs attack continued with RP himself.
Okay, what are you doing? No.
We're seeing a lot of bunting so far this season. Some new coaching strategies. As RP is going to be forced to not bunt here. He's going to charge instead. This one's crushed down the middle. Okay. It's going to be a home run.
He was just trying to psych him out. Bunt, home run.
Hey, however you can get it done, I guess. Critter and Kareem made the necessary plays to end the inning, putting the death lineup back up to bat. Wario made it with a bit of help from the star, while Critter put one in the gap and Boldy went for 2.
Critter's going for 2! Oh, it didn't get it! But Wario will still advance from first to third, so really anything will score here.
Luckily for the Muscles, Critter's efforts were still enough to score 1 run as Kareem cashed in. Red Yoshi made the stop though, and the Fireballs looked to further their advantage. Mario faltered, but BP popped one out to the Piranha Plant in the outfield for a solid hit, making Kareem run across the field to track the ball down. Next up, the Maverick.
Blue Pianta could have gone 2 if he really wanted
The Maverick crushes this one up the middle. It's going to be another home run!
Oh no!
The Maverick! The Magenta Maverick! Back to Season 1 form with a 2-run homer.
It was still early, but that one seemed to get in the Muscles' heads a bit as Wario came out to pitch. Critter did turn a double to end the inning, but not before a disappointing error. Fortunately, the Goom Bomb was in town. His newly buffed slap landed comfortably in the dead zone between the infield and outfield. One Saitama single later, Goomba found himself in scoring position.
Stock up base runners until you can get to your good slap hitters or your good... Oh wow, they really are just doing the Fireball strategy. As Goomba's gonna go for home! He's got it!
Good heavens!
Look at him run, look at the Goom Bomb go!
The Willow slap was true, it seemed to break either Yellow Madge's neck or ankles as he got a bit lost on the base pass. Roshi came up big yet again in the infield, and Critter stepped up, desperately hoping to avoid leaving the 2 Yellow Mies stranded.
So now you're in a high-risk, high-reward situation where if Critter homers, you are in a world of hurt, but if you can get him, you're looking fantastic. And there it is. Welcome back, Season 1 Critter.
What is the Mav doing?
Welcome back, Season 1 Critter. He's back for his MVP this season. He wants it. They're gonna have to win a game to do that, but...
2 more reached this inning, but before long, Roshi yet again made the play. Still, they now trailed for the first time in this one, and needed an offensive response.
You could say the same thing about Wario. I don't know where Red Pianta was swinging that one.
Oh no.
He's swinging that one to the
2
sky.
homers. Red Pianta and Critter are having a duel right now.
That's a good start. The Murphy Me and Roshi both got on base, forcing K-Rool's hand as he made this fantastic play.
Yeah, Mario just has not been...
And Red Yoshi's gonna get him trapped.
The next run wasn't scored by the Muscles, though. Instead, Peach took to the plate in the fourth and put her shiny new medium trajectory slap to use to bring Blue Pianta home. Despite Willow and Critter's best efforts, even a double play couldn't stop one more. This marks the scary part of the game for the Muscles, seeing as they lack a third-string pitcher. As such, they had to turn to Critter.
This one's out to left from Toadsworth. Goomba makes the grab.
They did the same on offense, his hit and K-Rool's boo making for runners on the corners. Though the latter also came through, BP's laser ability was enough to catch Wario off guard. Losing out on these runs would potentially mean only one more death lineup appearance, so Kareem felt eyes from all around as he stepped into this one.
That does hurt K-Rool's
Whoa, Kareem!
Whoa, Kareem!
He's not getting there!
He is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar! And goodness!
Yet another lead change. Look out though, because here come the fireballs. 1, 2, 3 consecutive base hits, and they were all loaded up with no outs. Loaded to Mario, that is.
You know,
BP to follow.
there are worse people you could have up.
Yeah, there are also better ones, like the one that I see with the item right now.
That's true.
Oh, maybe not, maybe not!
Critter, oh my god!
That's gone. Go ahead, Grand Slam from Mario.
Ah, damn!
I take it back. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, El Mario.
How many changes is that? I've lost count. Whatever the number though, you can just freeze it there. This one is over.
Whoa, Mario, chill! Wait, the train!
Oh my...
No, it was just too high!
Oh, it's just over!
Mario is going nuclear in this game. It's 14-8 fireballs.
Good heavens. I mean, they can't... Anything over the fence is gone now.
That's true.
So Toadette could get a home run if she really wanted to.
And she might!
She will!
It's hitting the wall. It's hitting the wall. It's hitting the wall.
Okay, okay.
Still an RBI single, though.
Oh my god, it's only an RBI single because Peach didn't go. But Toadsworth, however... Oh.
Wow.
Oh wait, there is chemistry between them.
Oh wait, I think they might have her out. Oh no, she turns around just in time. RP. That's gonna score another. This is the offense that we saw last season. The entire roster might even pitch. This is still the 6th inning. I think it's safe to say we won't see a bottom of the 7th.
I concur.
No, not again, right?
No, it can't be.
Mario. Oh.
Mario, don't do it.
Okay, he won't.
Okay.
But he's still scoring another.
Still gets another.
Another 2.
He's scoring 2. They're just toying with him at this point.
Oh, that laser's gonna get Mario. What a play from K-Rool. I mean, it's a little bit too late for that, but you know, still a good laser. That's finally gonna end it,
Be an
Kareem.
end, please.
10-run inning for the Fireballs.
One more Muscles run of the 7th almost eased a bit of the pain, but actually, no, it didn't at all. From 0-3 to the finals, and back to 0-2 again. A big bounce back for the Fireballs, though, who looked to push forward with this as the blueprint. Now for a look at the Bows, this time featuring Yu Narukami over Pink Yoshi in left as they clashed with AJ and the Rookies. I usually don't do this, but I'm going to let my old self do a bit of season commentary to kick this one off.
So the Bows are going to look to notch their first win of the season, while the Rookies will look to continue AJ's perfect record as a GM.
Hot streak. Yeah.
I guess his hot streak, yeah, because he also won the championship as the coach last season. AJ has never been involved with an organization that didn't at least make the playoffs.
Yeah.
He coached the Cyber Knights, then when he left, they hit the gutter. Then he went to the Wilds, who then won a ring with him, and now he's with the Rookies, who it remains to be seen if they make the playoffs, but they're, based off their opening night performance, looked pretty good. But that did not look good.
Okay, Birdo is carrying.
Unlike the Rookies, the Bows came out guns blazing. Dixie went for a double, and Flenzy placed one in the gap to score in a mere 2 at-bats. Next was the debut of Yu Narukami, who didn't quite live up to the hype this time. Gregai caught Birdo out, and Bowser had a chance to tie things up.
Okay, Bowser, you're at least just looking to get on base. Or
get caught out.
Leave it to the veteran outfielders to get the job done. The next 2 batters were obliterated in a mere 2 swings, so the Bows officially had a lead to cling to. Boo reached to begin the attack, but KB was unable to capitalize. Still, the bows were upon the part of the lineup Y-Guy dubbed Slap City, Yellow Pianta and Blue Toad into Blitter. The first of those three came through, so it was Blue Toad's turn.
He has got on base every single at bat.
That's impressive. Mr. Consistency. Alright, here's King Bob-omb. He's gonna mess with Gray Guy. Oh, it doesn't work! Just too soon! He is gray, dude.
Still, Blitter was not without base runners in case he decided to do some— oh.
That one was also well placed, but he gave him the same pitch twice. That's not a mistake you can make against Blitter.
Wow.
And the Bows lead it 3-0. 4-0, rather. Let me correct myself.
The rookies stayed ice cold, which didn't help matters. The next run across was also for Y-Guy's team, coming from a Boo hit, which narrowly escaped Boomerang Bro's jump before receiving a bit of assistance from, well, a Boo. I don't even have the words to explain this next one, so I'll just let the clip play.
King Boo is aiming for the fences on Bowser. I lied.
What were they thinking?
What?
If you're gonna throw home. Why did you do that?
Ordeal almost made another unforced error on the next play, but recovered just in time to beat YP to first. Still, the rookies wouldn't go far if they kept sleepwalking like this. I mean, just look at this hustle from the Bows' first baseman.
Gotten on base once.
Oh, Boo!
And immediately
What a play from Boo!
What?
Goes from first base and chases it down out there. What a guy.
No half-hearted offense is going to break through that effort. Bowser did get his one in the top of the fifth, but that just about did it. Birdo came in to relieve KB in the late game, but even after pitching for so long, the big guy still made the game-sealing dive. Dare I say it, these Bows look kinda nice. Speaking of kinda nice, it's time for more unbiased commentary on the Akamos Flowers. On the other side, though, was another of my favorite teams in the league, the top-ranked Spectro Spitballs. As the first of two meetings between these cross-conference rivals, this was shaping up to be a good one. Through one inning, that held true. PD had a much better showing on the mound this time around, and we were scoreless going into the second. After a blooper base hit, a near-link homer, and a GDB star hit into the gap, though, the Flowers took an early 2-run lead. 2 batters later, and the bases were loaded to Green Toad, still without a single out. He scored 1, and then it was Daisy's turn.
Bases loaded again.
Daisy. Oh,
Ooh, star hit. Base is gonna look good.
2
It's gonna
runs.
be
Wig Pete again, and still no outs.
Peter the repeater. Oh.
is that a home run?
It's a grand
Grand
slam by
slam
Peter.
right there. Excellent.
What a
hit,
play.
Peter.
What a play.
Absolutely insane. Gonna put him up forward.
The Flowers are up by like, what's that now? 9.
Yeah, so much for a close one. Whammer and Deuce made it 11-0 before Firebro finally came up with the score in the bottom of the third. Rhodes scored another to make it a 2-run inning, but based on the way I'm talking about this, I take it you know this one's wraps. Give the Spitballs their flowers, no pun intended, for their small 7th inning rally, but the Flowers took this one home 11-6. This slate of games left only 2 undefeateds, as both the rookies and Spitballs fell. Oh, and the last 2 left standing? Wilds and Flowers, just like Season 2. And like before, they'd have to last until Week 2 to face each other, but there's still one batch of games left in this week. Let's see who makes it out. First though, a game between the Knights and Rookies. AJ's squad looked to use this one as a bounce back, while Cyber came in hungry for a win on a slipping Rookies team. But let's be honest, what do you think the odds of that are when your number 1 player would be 5th at best on the opposing team? Bowser and company made the gap apparent early on, torching Green Para's pitches for 3 runs before any outs. Despite a green match to Luigi double play off of Madeline's hit, BDB still scored 1 more to make it 4-0 before the Knights could blink and before I can breathe.
Oh, that's not a great pitch, but Boomerang Bro just doesn't even swing at it.
At this point, I don't even.
But he does get that one, and it's over!
Oh,
It's a 2-run homer for Boomerang Bro.
6-0 in the first. It's like nobody remembers how to have a thriller anymore. Green Para made up for his lackluster pitching this time around in the infield, ensuring the rookies didn't score again for a while. But the Knights' offense just fizzled out, if you can even claim they sparked to begin with. Boomerang Bro scored Madeline in the third for a 7-0 lead, and both sides more or less checked out for the rest of the game. Green Madge turned a ridiculous amount of double plays, winding up with a total of 3 on the game, but they just never turned any of that defense into offense. In fact, the only Knights run to score was a solo bomb from Greybones that I guess the rookies just didn't feel like jumping for. Then there are the ones you can't jump for.
Speaking of 2 for 2.
Speaking of 2 for 2,
three
good
of the 7
heavens, that
runs
is
in
high.
And hoping for more.
That's too high. Boomerang
Wow.
Bro, what a breakout season. Keep in mind, Hammer Bro hasn't even homered yet. Boomerang Bro and Fire Bro are competing for the spot of best performing bro so far. Monty!
Good heavens! Good
Okay.
heavens! No!
That could have been so cool too. Anyways, let's turn to...
Gray Guy! That one is gone!
Good, what are they cooking?
What is AJ putting in their team meals? What is AJ putting in the team meals? Why is Gray Guy homering? He's so gray, dude. He's so gray.
And so the rookies dismissed the Knights to the tune of a 10-1 victory. So much for a turnaround in Cyberland. Next, a battle for MRC positioning as the Flowers and Bows clashed. This time it was GDB starting on the mound as PD shifted back to his home at shortstop. He wasn't the one to do damage in the first though. Instead, that was Hammer Bro, netting 3 outs with 2 hammer catches. The Flowers offense got off to a quick start too, putting 2 on base as Wiggler and PD came up to bat. Yu made a crazy play to turn a double from the outfield though, and PD's would-be sac fly instead ended the inning. Despite the Bows slapping lows in the first, Birdo came out with the very same strategy to start the second inning, and it worked quite well. She then managed to steal second as Boo aimed for a bunt single in his first at-bat against his former team.
It worked.
Oh, but that I.
Interesting.
Oh,
Didn't
still-
work.
Through all of that, Birdo did make it to third though, and YP scored her to draw first blood. The Flowers' attempted response came up short as Whammer fell victim to Blitter's lockdown defense, and then the Blue Bomber followed up on offense to score another. This was the state of affairs until the bottom of the fourth, when Whammer, GDB, Deuce, and Green Toad started to put something together. Daisy followed that up with a star hit, and the Flowers had suddenly come back to seize the lead in fireball fashion. Now I know what I said last game about nobody making thrillers anymore, but I'll take this moment to confirm that that was indeed foreshadowing. This one morphed into a nail-biter of a standoff, the Bows and Flowers both desperately trying to add runs to their totals while giving it their all on the other end. Finally, in the top of the 7th with GDB still pitching, it was do or die for Team Y-Guy.
Are they gonna change him with Blue Toad? Nope, they're gonna keep Slap City, keep Slap going.
I imagine GDB is gonna have some talks with the higher ups about this.
Oh, good heavens! What was Blue Toad thinking?
Now I don't know if I'm crazy for saying this, but I think Link could have ended the game right then and there. Instead, the Bows have a second chance, and Critters are not known for letting second chances pass them by.
Ooh, and that is a very good hit by Blue Critter, and it will drive in King Boo.
That forced GDB out of the game for Daisy. A good switch, one you'd think would benefit the team. When her dubious star pitch is involved though, nothing is for certain.
Oh my gosh,
Start
what is
off
happening?
start.
What is happening? She gonna
And
bunt
Dixie
that?
bunts.
Is this gonna work? This is gonna work!
One URBI later, Birdo drilled a 3-run shot up the middle to seize a 6-run lead from what looked like a loss. Whether you think it's talent on the Bows' behalf or simply the Flowers' famous bottom 1 luck rearing its ugly head, this one would go to the underdogs in a statement victory. Time for one of the greatest traditions in our league, the Battle of the Balls. This series is tied lifetime, splitting evenly between the two teams in Season 2. Who would win the first of their 2 games this season was anyone's guess. This time it led off with Paragoomba getting gunned out at first, but Red Toad reached the bag and successfully stole second to bring up Millennia. She too succeeded, and I think the MVP is due.
That's
Whoa.
gonna be gone. Yep. Red Critter's just too
Oh.
strong for that, especially with the star. Wait, no, Fireball starred.
I hate to say it, but the Fireballs looked just as lost early in this one as the Knights did in their game. Firebro scored another to set up a Darkbone sac fly, and the Spitballs were up 5. What the Fireballs don't lack, however, is an offense. Their response was nothing flashy, but Mr. Murphy shipped a reminder out to right field that the Fireballs wouldn't go down easy. BP and the gang tightened up defensively in the second, and they quickly loaded the bases off of a Firebro error to threaten a comeback.
Oh! The star is too much there. Too much power from Firebro, and the bases will be loaded for Toadsworth. There's no shot he ties this game up. He's not even trying. Yeah, he's just going to slap, and it's going to be caught by Firebro for a quick double play, and they will leave 3 stranded on base.
A huge stop by Firebro. That said, the Spitballs had a similar experience with loaded bases in the top of the third, this time ending in Toadette's glove. This go-round, it was a bomb that forced Firebro's error and allowed the Fireball batter to sneak in safe. A red Yoshi hit and a Mario shell put 2 runners in scoring position, and the plumber himself picked up where he left off by bringing both of them home. The Fireballs needed 2 more runs to tie, and they found them in unlikely players, Peach and Toadette.
So she's having a decent game so far. We'll see if that continues here.
Okay.
And it will. Great hit from Peach. It's going to bring home Mario.
Could be a strikeout.
Not likely, as Toadette's going to lay down an RBI single. Good for her. Game is tied. The Fireballs are fireballing.
We've got a ball game. Now feeling the pressure, Red Toad used a Millennia Boo to reach second and then snagged third off of the bunt of Mikola. Ritter struck once again, slapping a double into the gap and keeping the Fireballs in the rear view for just a bit longer. Mario ensured they didn't pull too far off though, striking Red Mage out. He did give Firebro a risky pitch, but Toadette made the grab. RP attempted a move, but Murphy's slap fell within the critter zone, patent pending. Darkbones secured the third out, then started up Spectro's offense immediately after. Paragoomba was having a very poor game, going 0-3 into this appearance. It didn't get any better for the guy as he left 0-4 with a double play to his name. Still, the road to success is paved with Road himself, who both kept the inning alive and scored Darkbones. Millennia came in to relieve Walu in the 5th and did a good job of it too. Only 1 Fireball reached base, and he was quickly dispatched of by Firebro. Ritter confused everyone in the stadium with this ambiguous flyball, but it was good for a double. 1 out later though, and Red Mage's poorly placed slap went from a miscalculation to a fatal error. Millennia kicked off the 6th by taking care of both Et and Worth, but RP narrowly reached first base to keep it going. Now up to Murphy.
He's been outperforming his expectation. Oh no. The POW! Huge POW!
Oh, I believe it. I
He
believe it.
slaps, and it does get down. Red Toad bobbled it! And he gets POW'd! Pianta's gone! Got nervous against his former team and made a costly mistake, and all of a sudden here's starred Mario with a chance to take the lead. Great contact, it's pushed out right, this is gonna be gone! The Fireballs will take the lead!
Be a foul.
It's a go-ahead homer from
out.
Mario.
Oh.
And the Mario mayhem continues. Let's see if Firebro has a response.
I can't see. Oh, there we
What just happened? What is this? It's an inside the park home run from Firebro. I don't know what just happened. I really hope you guys were able to see that. That's an inside the park homer for Firebro. That's the 2nd time that has ever happened.
After that once-in-a-lifetime blunder, the Spitballs still had 1 more run to go. If Mario could hang on, he'd be the reason for the Fireballs' win twice in a row.
Here's Walu. He's been having a good game. You need him to continue here, though. And he will. That's another base hit.
What
Paragoomba.
happened there?
A base hit.
Man,
Wait, triple play here? No, Walu's gonna retreat.
Oh.
But all of a sudden, you need Red Toad and Millennia to come through or else the game is over. That's not it. That's gonna be the game. Peach doesn't have to move anywhere, and the Fireballs will hold on to win it. 9-8 off of the go-ahead homer from Mario.
1-0 Fireballs to those tracking the series. Speaking of series, how's a Season 2 Finals rematch sound to close out Week 1? The Muscles had 3 motivations to win this game. 1, to get their first win of the season, 2, to beat the team that swept them in the finals, and 3, to ruin that team's claim to the final undefeated spot. You see, if the Muscles won this game, the Wilds would have to share that title with the Flowers, and sharing glory isn't exactly what the Wilds are known for. The Muscles got off to a good start though, with 2 on base and no outs. Seeing this, Willow decided it was time to swing big.
This is crushed into center by Willow. Teal gets there though, and do they get Saitama? No, but they get Yellow Mage. That was weird. That was really weird.
Not sure why she'd go for that right before the death lineup, but ah well. Wario time.
This one is not though. This one's gonna be a home run from Wario. So quick score from the Muscles, and it's 2-0 in their favor.
It's hard to complain about that, but easy to wonder what could have been if Willow didn't jump the gun. For now though, the Muscles would settle for a 2-run lead, as they became the first team to score on the Wilds in Season 3. Though Diddy Kong did an excellent job of getting to base, his new follow-up in Reel just couldn't help but hit right to the bane of the MRC. It's especially funny because due to a lineup error Jake Cuevas didn't care to restart for, K-Rool was at shortstop while Critter played first base. Hitting anywhere but to Willow would have worked. The Goom Bomb and Koopa the Quick converged just in time to grab an attempted DK homer, and the Wilds were genuinely trailing for the first time since Game 1 of the Season 2 Finals.
If you had to guess which one of these 2 players has homered this season, You'd probably say it's Kareem, but actually you'd be right either way, because now they both have.
Not looking good for the Wilds. After 2 straight shutout wins, they were now the ones staring at a goose egg, while their opponents did all the scoring. Tiny made a play on Kareem's hit, but Koopa the Quick started a rally right after, which led to loaded bases for Yellow Madge, who brought one more in before Britter finally took control and turned a double. Fair continued her string of mediocre performances as Saitama took to the skies for 1 out. A bigger play than it initially seemed too, because Britter finally delivered the first Wild score of the game right after, which could have easily been 2. The 1 is still great and all, but when K-Rool immediately responds with a moonball of his own, it really makes you wish you had that 1 additional run. Funky and Diddy took initiative in the bottom of the 3rd, starting what looked like the first Wilds rally of the game with Real up to bat.
This one's hooked over to K-Rool, who's going to turn a triple play? No, Diddy will make it back.
Now to DK, with what could have been loaded bases and no outs turned into 1 runner and 2 outs.
This one's right at the middle, should be gone as well, so DK is also going to crush one right at the middle, just as K-Rool did.
Not a bad salvage job, but the defense will need to continue holding down the fort. First, DK baited Goomba with a star pitch. Next, Fair got her revenge with an eerily similar leap to dismiss the one-swing man. Finally, a second star pitch took care of Yellow Madge. DK and company had finally woken up. Indeed, Brown Critter's charge into the gap and Tiny's call-out on Wario's star pitch seemed to indicate that the champions had finished their stretches.
Tiny. They've just been calling out these phony pitches. It's done nothing to this Wilds offense. She'll just charge for this one. And great contact. Again, these phony pitches have done absolutely nothing, and this is going to score 2. It'll be a tie game.
A monumental effort from Teal. Hugh sent her over to 3rd, bringing up Funky.
This one's right at the middle. Is it a sac fly? Does Teal go? She does. Does she make it? It's a close play. Teal's in. The Wilds will take the lead.
That right there is why Teal is so highly touted as a top-quality knee. The bold decision to gun for home just barely paid off, but the Wilds had taken the lead. Not a moment too soon either, as Diddy Kong was doubled off on the next at-bat. Pressure had shifted to the muscles, with both Willow and Wario faltering.
Now it's Critter. 2 quick outs. I believe that was a double play. I wasn't exactly looking. This one's crushed up the middle. Does Tiny get there in time? No.
A fantastic recovery, refusing to let the Wilds' momentum phase him. K-Rool and Kareem took after that example, both laying down base hits in a bid to reclaim the lead.
Which is fantastic on Koopa's part. That was not fantastic, though. The fire, though! These items from the muscles have been amazing! Goombomb with loaded bases. No items to use here, though. But he doesn't need it. That's going to score 2? Teal gets there. Kareem slides in. And it will remain the case. As Teal gets bananaed there, Goomba decides not to go, though.
After that last run, Coach Flam broke the emergency glass and switched in Teal to pitch, compromising the outfield entirely in desperation. All that because Critter refused to say die. That same drive carried over to the defensive end too, where he made a great play despite being out of his usual position. In a strange twist of fate, Fair was the only Wild to reach base this inning, as Britter's pop fly forced a chem bobble but still ultimately resulted in an out. The Muscles punched in one more in the top of the 6th, and the Wilds once again trailed by 4. This time, the first answer came from Funky, while Real drilled one out to left to make up for his recent offensive blunders and cut the deficit to 1. As Saitama came in to hopefully close out the game, DK mysteriously took the passive route, slapping to ensure a base hit, but only being able to stand by and watch as Fair grounded one to 3rd. With only one more chance to expand their lead, the Muscles came out and bunted?
Yellow Madge is also looking to bunt. What are they doing? What is the game plan? Coach King Jiso drawing up some really weird decisions here. This one also goes down the exact same line. The fireball will work? Yeah. They're going to try to steal home. It's a swing and a miss. But Yellow Madge will steal second, so that's a stolen base there for Yellow Madge, which is a funny thing. But that's a bunt. Is it going to get Goomba home? It does! And it gets Willow to first.
4 bunts is too many to ask though, and Teal finally adapted to this one.
Wario, of course, will not bunt. They're going to try to steal again. No, he will bunt! No, they got Madge and Wario, so it will be a double play there.
One last chance, leading off with Britter.
No one even potentially on base, as he's the one to lead off the inning. It's not what you want to see if you are the Wilds. The one-pitch man. Brown Critter's going to line out to Fair. She'll charge here. Crushes this one. There's a chance that the fire could come into play, otherwise it will be a fly out. It's going to be a fly out. Koopa the Quick. All right, one more out. If they hang on to one more out, the Muscles will get their first win of the season and also take down the final undefeated team. All they have to do is get Teal. And they won't. They have to get their Human, and then Funky Kong will have a chance to walk it off if they're still both on base, which there has to be. You can't afford an out here. Hugh's going to charge. I mean, that's what you want to see. You want to see him put it right in the gap. He won't. That's going to be right to Willow, and that's the game. The Wilds will lose 11-9. The Muscles claim their first victory of the season.
And with that, the Muscles and Game MVP Goomba exacted their revenge for the Season 2 finals, slaying the second of the undefeated duo in the process. As such, our updated standings will reveal 0 remaining undefeateds, the rookies instead surging to first in the league for the first time in franchise history. Of course, this early on, numbers 1 through 7 are all in a tight pack. This is very much still anyone's season, even the Knights. Unlike last go-round, the 3-game mark was only a quarter into the season, so we'll just have to wait and see how things shake up in Week 2 next time.